There was a lot of havoc going on in this movie. Okay, quick review with my new sort of setup going on here at my brother's house. I've configured things a little differently. Let's jump into this review. It's for the new Netflix movie Havoc, starring Tom Hardy and Timothy Olyphant. Just trying to think of his name. I didn't realize going into it that this film was done by the director of the Raid movies. I remember being very impressed with the first Raid movie. I have not seen the second one. It was nonstop action, which can be a little bit much, but something that was super impressive about Raid to me was the fight choreography. I thought it was done extremely well and just was in awe. And in a lot of ways, Havoc feels very similar to that. There is a lot of pretty intricate choreography going on, but yet at the same time, it's made to look like it's just this frantic pace of life or death fighting. You can't really always tell that it's something that's been choreographed. That's how good it actually looks, like the Raid film. The basic premise is that Tom Hardy plays a cop who's on the corrupt side, and there are other cops he's kind of entangled with in some stuff that's going on. And the son of I don't remember if she's Japanese or Korean or what, but was like this organized crime leader, boss lady. And her son gets killed and she comes seeking revenge. And she means business. She is going to go after everybody that she thinks is involved. This is quite violent. This is quite bloody and very action-packed, but I do feel like there's more downtime in this film, as far as that goes, than there was in the Raid movie. Once the Raid started, there was like hardly any moments where you could catch your breath. It was similar in Havoc, yet there was a bit more time of downtime. That's what it felt like, but then it has been years since I've seen the Raid. I enjoyed it overall, but I do have to say that unfortunately, I feel like Havoc suffers from an oversaturation of fighting. And I know that sounds odd to say after having said that I enjoyed the Raid, but after a bit, I definitely started to get desensitized to what was going on. And I don't remember there being a lot of guns in the Raid movie. I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong, but there was a lot of the action took place not just in the form of physical fighting in Havoc, but gunfights as well. And it felt like that was just dragged on a bit too much. And there would be some scenes where a person would just unload practically an entire magazine into somebody, and it was just overkill, literally and figuratively. And it started to annoy me, that sort of stuff. I was thinking, that's not necessary, and that's just kind of, all right, come on, let's just get on with it. I'm not clicking with this. So unfortunately, the movie does suffer from that sort of problem. However, if you are a big fan of the Raid, you may have no issues with it at all. Though I was a fan of Raid, I had issues with it. I don't know, it's weird. I did see the Raid many years ago, many years ago, so it's quite possible my enjoyment of things have just changed over the years. That does happen. There was also some other stuff about it that got under my skin a little bit with regard to technical things, and that was the use of shaky cam. In a lot of ways, the use of shaky cam in films can help make things look very frantic and harried and so crazy in the chaos, and it can disguise that fight scenes are choreographed. And that can be a good tool in order to underscore the seriousness of what's going on. But I felt like this was overdone a bit. Maybe that's what he did in the Raid, and I'm not remembering. It could be if I rewatch the Raid, I would feel equally agitated with the overuse of shaky cam, because after a while it gets frustrating because number one, my eyes don't like it when it's used too much. And then I also have trouble telling who is who in some of the fighting. So it was kind of frustrating. I can't go so far as to say that this film deserves a negative score, because I did enjoy the storyline. I thought it was pretty interesting. And I, of course, enjoyed Hardy's performance, as I pretty much always do in everything I've seen him in. And Olyphant, he did a fine job. But these were just things that kind of stood out to me as a bit problematic when they were happening. You guys may have a completely different feeling about it, but I just wanted to take the time with my new recording setup, see how it works, to talk a little bit about Havoc. But as of right now, that's about all I can say. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up later.